smell of old books or, the crack of a new one's spine. Do you love that when you open it up?
I so know that. We all know that reading improves memory, but that's not the only reason to read.
No, psychologist Dr. Laura Saunders has the science behind why reading is so good for you. How are you doing this morning, Doc?
Hello, friends, and happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you.
Or happy Friday Eve.
Or happy Friday Eve, as Nicole
Glass is half full. What do you think of that?
I think that's really positive thinking.
All right, so I'm reading Spare right now. It is taking me to a different world, a world that I do not know about, and I find it absolutely enthralling, and I get like almost in a trance when I'm reading it, and then it sticks with me the whole day. Is that typical for other readers out there?
Yeah, so that's a great example of why books really are just good for your health, emotional well-being, and physical health. And what some of the research shows is that people read about 12 books a year, so about one a month.
Wow.
And what you're describing is what we'd call perspective taking. So it's the ability to take perspective on someone else's life experience, and that really can increase empathy. You have perspective for what someone else's experience and life challenges might be, which might be different from your own. So that's another example of how reading increases empathy.
Is there a certain kind of topic that also helps, social situations, or could it just be kind of any variation of books out there?
So the beauty of reading is that it inevitably increases your vocabulary. As your vocabulary is increased, so is your ability to be conversational. People, during COVID, people were doing all sorts of
it seems as though
so many great benefits, and it can also reduce stress, right? It's reading for 30 minutes is like 30 minutes of meditation. It reduces cortisol levels, and it helps you feel calmer.
Yeah, it really does take me to a place that it takes me into that environment, and I feel like as if I'm there. Like when Harry was going off to war, I felt like I was in the trenches with him, and I love that association and that assimilation.
Right. So doing all that is stimulating your brain. So this is like exercise for your mind. So the more that you do that kind of thing, you are keeping your mind sharp, you're exercising your brain, you're relating emotional experiences, you're feeling emotions, because this, it's not uncommon that you would laugh at something you read in a book or even cry. So it really kind of connects you more to your emotional experiences.
Yeah, that's when you know you have a really good book, when you're feeling that way in those emotions.
Is there a difference between fiction and nonfiction? Is one better for you than the other, or are both the same, both encouraging?
I think it really has to do with preference. I mean, some people love biographies or historical biographies. So whatever really will help stimulate you and help draw you to it, as opposed to saying, oh, I don't feel like reading tonight, right? And reading's actually a great way to help bring sleep on, right? It makes you kind of tired. It helps you wind down. It's not a screen in your face. Even books on tape. Well, I guess it's not on tape, but that's my old expression. But books on tape is a way for you to still stimulate your brain. It could be while you're driving. It could be while you're doing another activity. As long as you are taking in the stimulation, allowing your mind to be active, but in a way that actually helps reduce stress.
I'm glad you covered that, Dr. Saunders, because, 2 kids, I barely have any time even just to go to the bathroom when I get home. Just anything. It's cooking dinner, it's watching them, it's going from point A to point B. That self-care time that I have is maybe right before bed, and on the weekends when I try and pick up a book, I'm falling asleep with 10 minutes in. It makes my eyes so tired. So I'm glad that you addressed, those audiobooks are also just as effective.
Right, and it helps you kind of pass time when you're on drives. Even if you don't have a long commute, it's really great for people with long commutes. But even if you don't have a long commute, the ability to kind of escape in your mind helps kind of settle things.
All right, my favorite book, A Separate Peace by John Knowles. What's yours?
I recently read Verity by Colleen Hoover. It was a page turner. It was unbelievable.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay,
that sounds
very good. And you?
I can't remember the name of the book.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Saunders. We appreciate it.
I need to hit the books a little bit more, Doc.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
That is, again, psychologist Dr. Laura Saunders.